from various ministries who are here with us, academic and non-academic staff, keynote speakers, postgraduate students, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Nawasalimia kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Bado. Nawasalimia kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Asante sana. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty God for enabling me to stand here today at this important opening ceremony of the SUA scientific conference. I'm delighted to be part of this scientific conference that is held for the second time in Rome. This is yet another year we are gathered here to learn from each other and discuss how we can embrace science, technology, and innovation for socio-economic transformation of our people. I thank the SUA management for inviting me to serve as guest of honor in this occasion. I also take this opportunity to commend the organizing committee for such a colorful and a well-organized event. Congratulations. Lastly but not least, I thank you all for attending this opening session. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I have been informed that the other stakeholders who have come together to discuss, share, and exchange scientific knowledge that will eventually promote application of science, technology, and innovation as an enabler of our socio-economic transformation of our people. Indeed, scientific and knowledge exchange gatherings like the one we have today generate data which the government can use as evidence in making informed decisions that can transform lives of millions of Tanzanians. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to note that this year's scientific conference revolves around 5 thematic areas, which are 1, agricultural innovations for enhanced food security and economic growth. Number 2, pests, diseases, and innovative control strategies for improving food security and health. Number 3, policy framework, economic transformation, and quality livelihood. I find that the 5 thematic areas are relevant, timely, and aligns very well with the government's aspirations to ensure that science, technology, and innovation are at the heart of achieving the industrialization agenda and the creation of jobs as identified in the National Development Vision 2025 and the third 5-year development plan 2021-2026 that is going to be rolled next month. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that science, technology, and innovation are essential for achieving the National Development Vision 2025 and the 5-year development plan 2021-2026 aspirations cannot be overemphasized at this point. They are therefore the engine for sustainable economic growth, development, and transformation. Certainly, science, technology, and innovation contribute to new knowledge, skills, and requisite capabilities for increased productivity and welfare improvement of our people. The strategic role of science and technological innovation in uplifting the sectors of the economy such as agriculture, industry, health, energy, education, environment, and services, and enhancing technological development has been vividly highlighted in the 5-year development plan, the one I've just referred, in Chapter 5 of the Chama cha Mapinduzi Manifesto 2020-2025. In Chapter 5, is fully dedicated to science, technology, and innovation. The AU Agenda 2063, that is the Africa we want, Science, Technology, and Innovation Strategy for Africa commonly referred to as TISA 2024, the Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030, and the recently adopted Paris Agreement on Climate Change. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, realization of both internal and external plans, the strategies, as well as agendas, which I've just mentioned, highly depend on availability of sound data and policy, a science policy interface that is generated through research. Now, these data and sound science policy interfaces are really important for enabling the government to make informed decisions. Again, this also depends on the high level of investment in scientific research, technology, innovation at different levels. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the government of the United Republic of Tanzania takes innovation and technology matters seriously by ensuring that our people are equipped with the relevant skills and are ready to engage actively and to take full advantage of the emerging technologies and the opportunities presented by the fourth industrial revolution. This is substantiated by the commitment made by our beloved President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, when addressing for the first time the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania in Dodoma on the 22nd of April 2021. She said, and I quote, "As we all know, the world is in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which is being driven by digital technologies. As such, the world economy and other activities are highly dependent on the digital technologies. In view of that, Tanzania cannot afford to remain behind." End of quote. And that is why the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology is now working to ensure that digital and innovation skills become part and parcel of the curricula at all levels of education. This move will allow us to produce graduates at all levels with the requisite transversal skills to be able to cope and benefit from emerging technologies. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that creation and transfer of scientific knowledge are critical aspects in building and sustaining socio-economic welfare and integrating in the global economy. It is factual that no country can remain simply a user of knowledge that is generated elsewhere. But we expect that all countries should strive to become creators of own knowledges in the local context. But again, we all know that there is a big gap between the developed and the underdeveloped countries in terms of knowledge generation. But then closing the existing gap between the two blocks require the contribution from universities. As such, this is an indispensable responsibility for all the universities like our own SUA. Innovation and technology transfer must therefore become as important mission as teaching and research in our undertakings. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there can never be a true and sustainable economic development without high quality research in all fields while embracing technological advances. It is imperative that academic and research institutions such as SUA must plan their research activities not only to focus on knowledge creation, but also to translate the findings into tangible products and services which directly benefit the local communities. Indeed, research becomes irrelevant and useful only when it is translated into products and services for use by consumers. It is my humble appeal that the academic and the research excellences that we are showcasing today in this conference will not only end up with peer-reviewed publications for promotion purposes, but will rather demonstrate our ability to solve real-life self and societal challenges through our research undertakings, and prepare the society to adopt and adapt to technological advances. That can be achieved if and only if we put special emphasis on the innovation and the invention for impact to radically change how social services are being delivered to the people and enhance their well-being as well as prosperity. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this point in time to reiterate further on the importance of research and innovation for impact by referring to the directives given by Honorable Kassim Majaliwa, the Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, during the opening ceremony of the Research and Innovation Week of the University of Dar es Salaam, held just yesterday. In his speech, the Prime Minister commended all universities' the farm cards innovated by one of our graduates, Mr. Dotto. And this card, unfortunately, did not win the Maksat race in Dodoma in the past 3 weeks. But I sincerely thank the Vice Chancellor, Professor Chibunda, for having mobilized a big group of researchers who were able to participate in the Maksat exhibitions in Dodoma. For sure, his leadership made a big difference. Back to the Prime Minister's directives to higher learning institutions, he urged all institutions to ensure that research and innovation activities complement the government's efforts to bring about inclusive social-economic development. In view of that, the Prime Minister issued the following directives. For the benefit of those who did not follow his speech, these were the directives. Number 1, research and innovation initiatives undertaken by higher learning institutions should aim at addressing socio-economic challenges in the local context. In view of that, it is expected that research findings and innovations be shared and disseminated widely to end users. The government further anticipates that research results shared in conferences like this one and other similar platforms will ultimately be translated into products and services that can be commercialized for the benefits of our people. Number 2, all higher learning institutions should come up with the strategies to allow smooth flow of research products and innovations to end users. I quote, he said, take research products and innovations to communities. Number 3, he directed that higher learning institutions should have clear plans on the commercialization of research products and innovations, and this could be done through either creating incubation programs or establishing spin-off companies. Number 4, higher learning institutions should strengthen linkages with the private sector to accelerate a partnership, including the funding of research and innovation activities. And finally, higher learning institutions should exhibit or showcase research products that are ready to go to the market, that are ready to be commercialized, instead of focusing more onto research processes. The industry wants to see products and innovations that are ready to go to the market. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, higher learning institutions in Tanzania must therefore continue to work hard to strive and strive to conduct innovative researches which will result into products development, innovation and services provision to address challenges facing the local communities. This could be in form of materials, methods for improved productivity, efficiency of utilization of natural resources, manufacture of medicines, vaccines, diagnostics, or medical devices, or even softwares and new business models, as well as new teaching and learning methods. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to conduct research that solve real-life challenges, we researchers need to change our mindset and start thinking outside the usual boxes in terms of the type of research that is undertaken and how we negotiate partnership with the development partners. We should always embrace the win-win spirit. We also need to train our youth to think innovatively and carry out research areas that are outside their comfort zones. Encourage critical thinking and creativity, which are key in remaining competitive and leaving our mark as a nation on the frontiers of international science. To achieve that, it is important to use. Let me commend SUA for coming up with a modality to fund research projects by using the internally generated funds. Mr. Vice Chancellor, this is a very important step towards advancing science, technology, and innovation at SUA, and I really commend you for this important milestone. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, as I continue with my speech, let me once again reiterate here that the government is committed to support all initiatives geared towards promoting uptake and diffusion of emerging technologies and innovations that are relevant to the local context. This is substantiated by the presence of the National Fund for Advancement of Science and Technology, commonly abbreviated as NFAST. And this fund is hosted by the National Commission for Science and Technology, COSTECH, with a primary objective of promoting research and innovation activities in the country. Now, this fund was established in 1995, and since then, the fund has received a total of 50.5 billion Tanzanian shilling from budgetary allocations. And this is purely for supporting research and innovation activities. The government has also established the National Innovation Identification Guidelines, which stipulates procedures for identification of innovators at all levels. This guideline has been instrumental in guiding grassroots innovators to access a total of 3.2 billion Tanzanian shilling in the past 3 years as part of Innovation Fund provided by the government through COSTECH. Distinguished participants and ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude my speech, let me challenge you with the following action points. 1, the SUA Scientific Conference is a very important initiative, and in my opinion, it should be elevated to become an international event to allow knowledge sharing and technology transfer across borders. Number 2, for researchers who are presenting today and tomorrow, I challenge you as you present and discuss your papers, take a closer look on how those results link to the socio-economic development in a local and a broader context.